Hello, hello. Stay there for a second because I've forgotten. There we go. All that stuff. So let us begin our little, sort your hair out, seated Pilates, but first it's Club Med, isn't it? A bit of Club Med. Yes, just being sitting, just notice for a moment as you close your eyes the weight in your feet or the connection with your feet to the floor, if one foot feels different to the other. Can you slow your breathing down as you become aware of it? And so for the next few minutes, I won't be saying a word. Whoa, make most of that. Okay, so come back into the room. Hello, hello. So here we are on this very bright and sunny morning. Lovely. Not feeling a day older. Much. So yes, let's begin. Lovely. So the camera nearly fell off the back of the thing then, whatever it's called. So bring your awareness to how you sit. So without trying to change anything. So what is your original seated position? How do you sit? So where are your feet? Where's your pelvis? And where's your spine? How long is your spine? Where does it begin? Where does it end? And just that sense of weight as you sit here. So as you bend your knees in your seated position, can you have your feet underneath your knees? So if your feet are too far out, you're going to go kind of lie back like that. And if your feet are too far in, kind of pushes you forward a little bit and creates a bit of tension on your calves. So can you have your feet underneath your knees? Yeah, have a distance between your knees and your feet. Hi, thank you. Oh, dear you. And can you notice your sit bones on your chair? Sometimes it's easier to sit in the front of your chair or the forward of your chair, so you can notice your sit bones. And can you notice your right sit bone and your left sit bone? And they're not always equal, let me tell you. Right and left side has a difference. So just allow yourself to think of your sit bones like wheels. Can you roll those wheels forward and roll them back? So you roll them forward and you roll them back. So just notice what happens to your body when you just do that. Just let your body move. And it's quite interesting to notice which position feels more comfortable for you. In a world of sitting, thanks to the amazing laptops and technology that we have, but also thanks to COVID, we sit a whole lot more. Even if it's not at a laptop, it's at the telly. You're watching more movies. Yeah. Amazon Prime, Netflix are doing really well out of COVID. They are the winners, I reckon. So notice as you do this, before I get into a political debate about it all, copyright by Amazon. Jeff Bezos got a lot to answer for. No, it wasn't anyway. But anyway, so as you roll the pelvis backwards, notice what happens to your pubic bone. And as you roll on those wheels forwards, notice what happens to the distance between the pubic bone and your chest bone. Notice it changes. So you've got a lot of stuff going on in between your pubic bone and your chest bone. There's a lot of abdominal muscles here, side bending muscles. You've got all your organs here. You've got your lower intestines. You've got your stomach, your liver, pancreas, gallbladder if you still got it. But notice what happens between, can you feel where your top of your pubic bone is? Can you feel that moving? So as you tilt that pelvis forward, so if you go forward of those wheels, notice your pubic bone almost disappears, but the length between that and your sternum increases. So everything opens up here. And when you roll onto the back of your sit bones, everything decreases and it all pushes down onto your poor old pelvic floor. So the position of your sit bones makes a huge difference to the tone of your pelvic floor, what's happening in your pelvic floor. So when you're trying to find a forwards and a backwards position, you go through neutral, you'll go through halfway. So when someone says, sit up straight, it's not so much about sitting up straight. So, your spine feels long or your head feels in the right position and you can see in your eye line what you're looking at. It's just for the balance of everything inside you. So find what feels like the middle between the forward position and the back position. Can you find halfway? And for some of us, halfway might not feel like halfway because we might be so used to sitting at the back that feels like, halfway is about there. But if you came all the way forward, is that too far? So where is halfway for you? It might be completely different. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to do a little bit of core stuff today, and I know Pilates is well known for core stuff, but really when you like to learn more about your body, everything is your core because it's all connected. Everything, how you sit, where your feet are, what your hip joints are doing, where your head position, what your jaw's doing, what your eyes are doing, how you breathe, what your shoulders are doing, everything. But for today, I'd like you to think about your nose and one of your legs. Let's talk about this leg. So just have a look at your leg. Oh, it's a nice leg. Lovely. And let's have a look at this leg. Oh, that's a nice leg as well. So let's go back to the first leg. So you got two. So first leg, second leg. Let's go back to the first leg. And just as if you're painting a line with your nose from the hip, going towards the front of your knee and then coming back again. So notice you'll be rocking onto the front of your sit bones as you do that. It's a method in my madness. And going back again. So you're drawing a line or painting a line with your nose. So the whole of your face is actually looking down at your knee or looking down at your leg. And you're just going forwards and backwards. You're rocking on to the front of your sit bones and then going back. It's like you want to look over your knee with your nose, your forehead's down. The face is looking down at your leg. And then we're going to go around the leg. So go to the outside of the leg, go around it to the front of it and come back on the inside of the leg. And go around again. Outside, front, inside. And again, so you're drawing around it. The face is looking down. And then when you come back, can you reverse it? Can you go back the other way? So you're going down the inside, around the front, and around the outside. Being curious with your movement, just noticing what's happening when the weight goes forward of your sit bones, what happens to your tailbone. Notice what your chest bone's doing. Is your jaw relaxed? Are you still breathing? Hopefully you haven't been holding your breath all that time. You would have passed it on the floor. And then come back and I want you to imagine a circle on the front. And a circle on the front of your knee. So imagine there's a circle on the top, not on the front, on the top of your knee on this leg. So with your nose, start to draw around a circle on the top of your knee. It'll come back so a little bit towards the front of your top of your thigh. So your circle can be as small or as big as you want it to be. So it's not just your nose that's doing it, so it's not just a head movement, it's the whole of your body, everything. So the circle goes out to the one side, the outside of the leg, and you notice your body shifts over slightly. It goes to the front of your knee, and you notice that you're leaning forward. It'll go onto the inside of your knee, and the weight goes onto the other side of your body. You're tilting slightly in a side bend, and it comes back a little bit, and you'll notice that your abdominals will start to press backwards a little bit as you draw that circle on the top of your knee. So the whole of your face is looking down and the whole of your upper body is drawing that circle. Your spine, you'll notice your sit bones, you'll be shifting your weight from side to side, yes? And then can you unwind that circle, go back the other way, and you'll notice your sit bones, because your weight changes, your sit bones will feel different, especially when the weight is on the outside of the leg. You'll notice you'll be heavier on that side, on that sit bone, and as you come back onto the inside of the leg, the weight kind of evens out on your sit bones. So your head position makes a difference to what's happening in your pelvis and in your tailbone and in your sit bones. And then come back to the middle, come and roll yourself back up and roll your pelvis forward and backwards again. So think of your sit bones like wheels, rolling them forwards, rolling them backwards. So the whole of the body moves with you. And then notice what your pubic bone is doing again. So as you roll onto the back of those wheels, your pubic bone goes towards your chest bone. And as you roll the weight onto the front of the wheels, you create more space here. So you reduce the space as you roll back, and you increase the space as you roll forwards. So just notice which feels more at home for you, which feels easier to be in. But notice as you do this, as you roll backwards, the distance between the pubic bone and the sternum reduces, and it puts everything down, pushing it down onto your pelvic floor. So it creates a lot of pressure and tension. The jaw might join in. But as you roll forwards, it creates a lot of lengthening here, which can create other issues in itself, with a weakening as the muscles lengthen. But notice what happens to your lower back as you open up space here. Your lower back will tighten up. So lower back tightness or issues can sometimes come because it's working too hard, because there's too much space between the pubic bone and your sternum. Oh yes, there's a light bulb moment just gone on there. So can you find the middle between the forwards and the back in those wheels? Yeah, so repeated that from the beginning, so your brain gets a chance to think, oh yeah, it's putting it all together. So let's come back to this leg now. So face down, and you're going to draw a line around it. So let's start on the outside of the leg and going forwards to the knee, over the front of the knee, and coming back on the inside of the knee. So you're going around, and it's the whole of the body. It's not just your head doing a movement. It's not a neck thing. It's the whole of your body, everything. And it's how your eyes are seeing things that relates to what's going on in your spine, how your neck moves, how your abdominals react. Now, abdominals aren't things that work on their own. They work with everything else in conjunction with your neck, with your breathing, with your jaw, with your eyes, with your feet, with your pelvic floor. And then go back the other way. So on the inside of the leg, to the front of the knee, on the outside of the leg. And if you come into the little workshop on Saturday, we spend a little bit of time, I think it's on the lying down, one of the lying down things that we're going to be, I think it's that, eyes and pelvic floor, I think we're doing. One of the 10-minute or so sessions that we'll be doing in that. Okay, so then come back to the front of the top of the knee, and you're going to draw a little circle or a big circle, depending on how you feel. So you're going to draw that circle, and it's not just your nose, not your head rotating, it's the whole body, drawing that circle on the top of that knee. Yeah. And notice as you do that, when the head goes onto the outside edge of the leg, the weight shifts onto that side of your sit bone. And then when the weight comes onto the inside of the leg, the weight sorts itself out. So go at a pace that you feel you can notice that. You might have to really slow it down as if you're doing slow motion. And then unwind it, go back the other way. And notice it's when you're leaning over that you put more weight on that sit bone, which puts more weight on that side of the body, on the intestines on that side, depending if you're on the right side or the left side, what's going on with the liver or the stomach, and that side of the pelvic floor, that side of your jaw, and that foot. And then come back to the middle and put both hands on one leg, just let them rest there. And then you're just going to go forwards and backwards, but go on a diagonal. So can you go on a diagonal as if you're just rocking yourself forwards, but if the nose wants to go over towards the side of the knee and then come back towards the sit bone. And then go around the leg again, just twice. And then go back the other way, unwind it. And then go forwards and backwards again, but on that diagonal, diagonally forward, so you're slightly facing the corner of the room. And then come back to the middle, put both hands on the other leg and go on that diagonal. So we're slightly turning, slight rotation in the turning, and as your weight goes forward, the abdominal muscles will switch on to make sure that you just don't collapse like that. So your back muscles don't try and catch you. So it's a little dance between front and back, between abdominals and back muscles. And then go around the leg. A couple of times, and then reverse it. And then come back to the middle and come back to where we began. So your hands resting on your legs. Pelvis is like, this little sit bones are like the wheels, rolling onto the front of the wheels and rolling onto the back of the wheels. And notice how just that simple movement affects what's going on with the position of your pelvis and the opening up of the space here, which affects where your chest bone goes. And that affects where your collarbone sits, and that affects your shoulders. Because notice as you go back onto the back of your wheels and you slump backwards, what happens to your arms? Everything tightens and clenches around here. It's like shortens, not clenches, shortens. And when you roll onto the front of the wheels, everything opens up and the shoulders drop back. We're going to hold it in the back position, so roll onto the back of your sit bones, so those back of the wheels, and everything slumps. Can you hold that slump position for a moment and try and breathe into your lower rib cage? It's pretty hard, yeah? You probably find it easier to breathe up here into your chest and into your shoulders. So see if you can do that. Breathe into your upper body. So your chin is down, you're looking towards the ground. And does it feel right to say, to feel happy in this position, or to say, I'm having a great day. Yeah, look at me, I'm in a good space. I'm a happy person. Yes. This is a slump kind of like position or posture of someone that's not in a very happy state of mind, having a bad day, feels defeated, had enough, tired. So your words kind of match what's going on with your bones. So roll forward onto the front of your sit bones and lift your chest, lift your heart. So the face will change position, your eyes will probably be looking closer up towards the top of the room, because when you were down here you were looking down. So your eyes now change position, your shoulders feel different. And where can you breathe now? Can you breathe more down into your belly? Can you notice your lower back? Can you notice the 5 bones of your lower back and the 7 bones of your neck? Are they feeling lengthened, or are they feeling a little bit shortened because the chin is lifted and your tailbone is off the chair? So you're creating quite a lot of space here between the pubic bone and your sternum. So find the middle. So start to drop back to as if you're going to go back again, but you stop halfway. There you are in neutral. So the head sits nicely on top of your spine, shoulders sit nicely, sit bones feeling equal. And just turn your head from right to left. And then come back to the middle and let your ear just drop from side to side. So your head is tilting. Can you do that without your shoulders joining in? So your shoulders just feel heavy there. They're just hanging as if they're a cloak draped over your upper arms. Nice. And then come back to the middle and draw a circle with your nose. And then go back the other way and wind your circle. And then go up and down with your nose. Excuse me, up and down with your nose. Sound like a Dalek then. Exterminate. And then come back to the middle and press your feet down into the floor as if you're about to stand up. You're not going to, but just feel as if you're about to stand, and then let go of that pressure again. So your feet are right underneath your knees. Press down and then release. Press down without holding your breath, without clenching your jaw. You might find it easier to breathe out as you press down and breathe in as you come back. And then let one foot go forward. So one foot's going to go forward with the other foot, and then see if you can do the same thing as if you're about to stand up. Where does that feeling shift into your feet, into your hips? So you feel you're creasing here from the top of the legs. Can you feel it in one foot? Is it the foot that's behind you that feels as if that's going to do the majority of the pushing? Feeling about there's a length here at the crown of your head to help you feel as if when you stand up, you're lengthening through the crown of your head. You'll be pushing the floor away with your foot and the crown of the head into the ceiling. And then change feet. So this foot comes back and the other one goes forward. As if you're about to stand up, so you don't have to use your hands and your shoulders to do it. You're using the power in your legs, in your feet, and coming from your pelvic floor and your abdominals. So the abdominals here are supporting the spine. As you take the weight forward, they'll be supporting the spine at the front, and your back will be supporting the spine from the back. So when we were doing all this movement with the head and everything, it's to get your brain to feel, to notice the front and the back supporting each other. So you don't end up in this curved position or in a too arched position. You're in the middle. And then bring the feet back side by side. Press both feet down and then let them go. So the weight comes forward into your feet. You hinge the body forward and then you take it back. As if your forehead was going forwards and upwards, but the back of the head was going all the way up as if it's being picked up, like how kittens pick up their, cats pick up their kittens by the scruff of the neck. Feel this is the scruff of your neck, but it's up here on the back of your head, and they're being picked up from there. So you get this connection of the neck lengthening, which helps the abdominal switch on. Last one. And then come back. Lovely. Close your eyes. Closing your eyes, and just bring the awareness back into how you're sitting, your sit bones, how they feel on the chair. Can you sense the weight of your sit bones? Do they feel equal? And if one feels a little bit more forward than the other, then can you just play around with them, because they move individually. They're not the same. They're not stuck together. One will come forward, one can come back. You can feel that one knee could press forward, or the shin could press forward, and then the other shin can press forward. And you get this feeling that they're kind of walking, that your sit bones are walking. And then find, that's just if they feel a bit off center. And just doing something as simple as that, they find a middle ground. So your feet feel grounded underneath your feet, underneath your knees. And if you're going to draw a line between your right and your left sit bone, and there was a little square or a circle or a little dot there in the middle, could you allow your spine to lengthen out through from that, as if your spine was like the beanstalk in Jack and the Beanstalk, and it's growing out from the middle of that line. And notice your breathing. Can you breathe into the right and the left side? So if that dividing line was your spine, can you breathe into the right and the left side equally? And notice if one is more apparent than the other. Relax your jaw, soften your eyes. Your eyes feel heavy for a moment. And notice the space and the width of your jaw, the width of your tongue, and the width of your cheekbones, space between the right and left cheekbone, and the width of your eyes, as if the eyes are just widening, and all this space that you have on the right and the left side of your body helps to create some strength for your muscles so they don't feel tight and restricted. Okay, lovely. And when you feel ready, allow your eyes to open so you can notice the quality of the light in your room. Have a most spectacular day. I hope if it's sunny where you are, you can get outside and enjoy some sun on your face today. Just being in the garden is nice, isn't it? With a cup of tea. Take care, look after your body, and this is quite a nice thing to practice if you are sitting today. You don't have to do the whole 20 minutes, you can just do a little bit of rocking forwards and backwards and a little bit of swaying from side to side, just so you feel balanced on those sit bones, so it doesn't feel like an effort. Take care, love you, bye.